Today we're going to be reporting our first software bug. I'm currently using Software Center version 5.1.2 Debian 2, which is currently in Debian Wheezy testing, of course, and the application currently says that there are no screenshots available. If we start another package manager such as Synaptic, and locate this exact same package, we should be able to find some screenshots available for this program. Say get screenshot, and there's the screenshot that should be given to us by the other package manager, but it says there's no screenshots available. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install a couple of programs. The first one is ReportBug, and the other one is Python-VTE package. The Python-VTE package is required to get a nice graphical user interface for the ReportBug application. So to install that, we're going to go ahead and open up a terminal, or we could use one of the package managers that I currently have installed. I could use Synaptic, for example. Yeah, let's use Synaptic. We don't need to use the terminal. We're going to look for the package ReportBug. We're going to want that. We just right click on that ReportBug package, mark for installation. Okay, and then we're also going to, I bet inside of here we're going to find as a suggested package Python-VTE, which is what we're going to want for the graphical user interface for that. So we select that, finish, hit apply. It says to be installed Python-VTE, ReportBug unchanged. I have some updates that I haven't installed, don't worry about that. It goes and installs the package. You can see some details about what it's doing in the console for us. Okay, finished. The other way to install the packages there would be sudo apt-get install ReportBug and Python-VTE, and that would essentially do the exact same thing. The upper part of this is just referring to volumes that are automatically mounted. I'm logging in this part here. It says I'm not in the sudoers file. I can just open up another tab here, log in as root, run visudo, which will allow me to edit the sudoers file, go in and put the username under user privilege specifications. I put the username, and I used to put all, and then I hit Control X to save, yes, hit enter. Okay, and then we go back to this tab here. Notice I was very careful to make sure I log out of root. You certainly don't want to leave root logged in anywhere. It's a good habit to get out of. It's a good habit to have, to make sure you don't have root logged in anywhere. Sudo apt-get install Python and bugreport. Ask for sudo password. Well, it says it can't get a lock on the database, and that's because I currently have Synaptic open. So let's close this down. Try it one more time. ReportBug, not bugreport. It says it's already installed. It's the newest version, so on and so forth. So let's get moving on reporting that bug. So we just go ahead and run ReportBug. Actually, if we run ReportBug from the console, it's going to go into this text-only mode of ReportBug. That's really not what we want, because we're in a desktop environment and we don't need to deal with this text mode. So we can just abort out of there with Control C, and over here in the menu we can find the ReportBug Debian reporting tool, and that'll open up the wizard that we're looking for. Make it so much more easier for getting configured and set up. So Basically, it creates a ReportBug configuration file. We'll go advanced. There's a bunch of different options here. I'd suggest, if you've never done reporting before, obviously choose the easier one, the novice. Simple prompts, bypassing technical questions. Depending on how skilled you are with the distribution, of course, you could choose more advanced levels. I'm going to choose advanced because that gives us some more options to choose, and I can go through and explain each of those. So I'll go ahead and continue on there. It says, will ReportBug often have direct internet access? Sure, why not? Yes. Say, put the real name in there, why not? The email address in there, sure, why not? Do you currently have a mail transport agent MTA like XM, Postfix, or SMTP configured on this computer to send mail? Probably not, no. I mean, I don't have, most people probably don't have as well, and most people use Gmail, Hotmail, and so they wouldn't have a mail transport agent, that they configured locally on their PC, so we want to probably hit no there. It's going to ask questions about SMTP hosts. If you have one, if you don't have one, you just hit enter, and it'll go ahead and use the Debian SMTP host, so you don't need to put anything here. Same thing with the proxy server. If you have one, you can, or you have to use one, then you enter it here. Otherwise, you can just continue on. Don't need most of that. If you want to reconfigure, you just rerun ReportBug with the -- configure option. Or the better option, the better way that I like to do it is you can just rm the .reportbug folder. It's a hidden folder, rm-r/.reportbug-rc. And you can just delete that and then rerun the application, and it'll start through the configuration for you again. So let's go, continue on, finish, done. The configuration is finished. I believe we have to start it up again like that to actually begin reporting a bug. We click continue. Designed for making reporting of bugs easy. Enter the name of the package in which you have found a problem, or press Enter. Okay, so the package that we had a problem with is Software Center. Again, it says no screenshot is available when we know there are screenshots available for this program. Before we go on with the ReportBug program, the first thing we want to do is just check bugs.debian.org first to see if anybody else has reported this bug. This is the Debian bug tracking system. Select bugs in package. There we want to put the name of the software package. If you're not sure the name, then you can use like an apt catch search, Software Center, and in this list here you'll find the Software Center. This is the package name, utility for browsing, installing, and removing packages, and this is the actual package name. You need the actual package name. There's no spaces or anything in there. Then down here, since we're running Debian testing, we want to select testing, and then we just hit submit, and it's going to give us a list of bugs currently active against the software. And we look down to see if we see anything in there about screenshots. Let's see. Nope, nothing in there about screenshots. Okay, so we do have a bug that we can report. So we go back to the ReportBug program, and we put in the name of the package once again, Software Center. It does some auto-completion there, which is again one of the nice ways of using ReportBug. I mean, you could send an email. There's other ways to report a bug. You can send an email to the Debian email address for receiving bugs, but this way is so much easier because it collects all the information for you, and it does a lot of auto-completion for you. Okay, it's going to go and it's going to check some, bug information about it, and brings up the bugs. Once again, exact same bugs that we saw before, pretty much. We can look through there, but we've already checked by looking. By opening up the web page, I just wanted to show you. So skip through that. because it's not any of those. Briefly describe the problem. The software center, or we could just say software center. Says no screenshot, but there are screenshots available. Or I can just say, okay. That's a little long, but I think it's okay. Try to keep it brief. Okay. I'm gonna add my email in there. Make sure it goes through. Okay, here's the part where you put how severe it is. Certainly, I wouldn't recommend, if this is your first bug, don't try to put critical, grave, serious. Just it's probably either going to be normal, minor, or wish list. Don't put grave on some bug that should be normal. You might not make the package maintainer very happy. Just put it as normal. If it needs to be upgraded to grave or critical, it's better to just let somebody else do it. I would say this is probably a pretty minor bug, because a normal bug does not undermine the usability of the whole package. For example, a problem with a particular option or menu item. It's not really a problem with the option or menu item, it's more of a cosmetic thing. So I'd actually put this under minor. Things like spelling mistakes and other minor cosmetic errors that do not affect the core functionality of the package sounds exactly what we're looking for. So we continue. Says, do any of these apply to this report? This bug affects support for large files. Has nothing to do with that. Translation or localization, internationalization issue, nothing to do with that. The bug is relevant to the development of the Debian installer. Nope, nothing to do with that. The bug applies to the upstream part of the package. I don't know whether or not it does. Probably not, but I don't know for sure, so I'm just going to not put that. IPv6, don't worry about that. Nothing to do with that. Security vulnerability. It's not a security vulnerability. Patch, you are including a patch. I don't have a patch, so let's continue on. Okay, here's where you would put in more information they have available. It automatically adds your architecture, what distribution version you're using, stuff like that. There's not much to put here. I can just say, actually, you know what? I can go ahead and use a snapshotting program to get case snapshot. I think I have this. I don't have it. I uninstalled it. I had it before, and let's go ahead and install case snapshot real quick. Okay, let's start up case snapshot. We're gonna take just say window under cursor, take new snapshot. Here, finished. Bing. Okay, and we're gonna save this. Save as. Go to the home folder. This is our bug snapshot. Okay, finished. And let's also get let's start up the other program, the other package manager, Synaptic. Get the screenshot there. Then let's take a snapshot of that. Okay, we want to save that. Bug snapshot 02. See, it automatically put 02. I love that. You put 01 automatically. Just absolutely great. Good stuff. Okay. Finish, done. Close that. Close that. We can close out that. We can say that the Synaptic package manager is able to display a screenshot for the 3D chess application. However, the software center package manager is not able. Says there's no screenshot available. Okay, pretty simple. Not much to it. We're actually going to, well, maybe we can attach those two files. We can attach those two files later. Attach file. And we can go back to where we were. Let's say Debian. Reporting software bugs. Bug snapshot 01. Then we can attach a file. Same thing. Bug snapshot 02. Okay. And we can go take a look at what we've got. This is everything. It's all versions. Oh, this is pretty nice. See, it automatically generates a lot of that information. It shows the dependencies of the software center. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. It doesn't really show the two files that I attached though. Huh. Okay. Let's see. How about detach an attachment file? Oh, see there it's listing the both the attachments that I had already selected. That's not a detach an attachment file. Oh no, I don't want to quit. Just continue. Make sure I didn't detach. Okay. Now we could submit the bug report via email. I don't know if we want to do that yet. I think we do. We should be all set. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And it goes ahead and contacts the Debian bug reporting email server, so you don't really need to have an email address to submit a bug. You can. I mean, it's recommended. You can send an email. There's many different ways to send a bug, but according to here, it says it's all set. If you want to send additional information, you just send an email to the bug number at bugs.debian.org. That's all there is to that. Click apply, and then we can come back to here and refresh, and maybe we'll see our minor bug listing here. Normal bugs, minor bugs. No, not yet. We'll probably have to wait 5 minutes or so. Okay, just a while later, we refreshed the page, and we're now looking at the bugs for the software center, trying to find the bug that we just submitted. It would be under minor bugs, unclassified. Here it is. Software center says no screenshot available, but there are screenshots available. It's right here. You can open up our bug report. This is the information that we put in. This is the information that was automatically generated. And right here is one of our screenshots. Here's the other screenshot. There's the software center with no screenshot available, and there's the screenshot from Synaptic. The other thing that you might run into is what happens when an application just crashes. You can just fill out a bug report for that the same way. You can install some additional debugging libraries so that you have more information that can be useful to the developers to track down what's causing the application to crash. Usually if you just start filling out a bug report saying that the application crashed, the package maintainer will tell you which debugging libraries you need to install, or you can just usually do an apt-catch search for the debugging libraries for that application. You might also need to install debugging libraries for other things like Qt or dependencies for the application that crashed. Anyway, thanks for watching my video.